Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And Chag Sameach, happy Passover. I mean, tonight's not a real Chag, it's just Shabbat. It seems weird to say it's just Shabbat. Lots of excitement tonight. We're delighted to have you here in the sanctuary, and we are delighted to have those who are joining us by Zoom. Over there, okay? We're working on it. It should be done in like the next few weeks, all going well. It's a very special Shabbat because it is the Shabbat during Passover. It is a very special Shabbat because on this Shabbat we are welcoming Joy Scharf, Emily Scharf, Noah Scharf, Alex Scharf, and Meir Gur-Lavi to the community. They arrived last weekend. They've been getting to know what Omaha, Nebraska is like, and it's lovely having the family of our next senior rabbi, Rabbi Ben Scharf, joining us for even just a little bit of time. I don't know how much they've been able to enjoy of Omaha. For example, have you guys had your first runza yet? Okay. You won't have one during Passover, but it's a thing in Omaha. You'll find out. So we start our service with a little bit of singing.
Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Shalom. Blessed, 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 blessed will you be when you enter in. Blessed, 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 blessed will you be when you choose to go. Blessed, 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 blessed will you be in the here and now. Blessed, 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 blessed will you be forevermore. Baruch atah b'moecha, Baruch atah b'tzetecha, Baruch atah b'voecha, Baruch atah b'tzetecha, Baruch atah b'moecha, Baruch atah b'tzetecha, Baruch atah b'voecha, Baruch atah b'tzetecha. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Shalom. Blessed, 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 blessed will you be when you enter in. Blessed, 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 blessed will you be when you choose to go. Blessed, 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 blessed where you live and where you love. Blessed, 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 blessed where you learn and where you pray. Baruch atah b'voecha, Baruch atah b'tzetecha, Baruch atah b'voecha, Baruch atah b'tzetecha.
I'd like to invite up to the bima the chairs of our transition committee, Jess Cohn and Lori Sullivan, to light our Shabbat candles.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. So it's been quite the week. We have our festival of spring, and all of a sudden it feels like spring outside.
Mazel
It's
tov.
pretty amazing. Pretty powerful, aren't we? So I am about to invite you to set your intention for this Shabbat. And to do that, I encourage you to uncross your legs and put your feet flat on the floor if that's comfortable for you. Uncross your arms, sit up straight, because every adult who ever chided you in your life for not standing up straight or sitting up straight, yeah, they were right. You can breathe easier when you sit up straight. And all of that's depending on your comfort, and if you're comfortable in doing so, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. And then we're going to take 3 deep breaths. 3 is the number of intention. And I'm going to invite you to set your intention for this Shabbat. The intention could be the joy of freedom. We're in the middle of Passover. The intention can be the joy of community and friends and family. So we have all that going on tonight. The joy could be, or your intention for Shabbat could be, encountering the holiness of this time, these hours of Shabbat, and encountering the holiness of the Holy One of Blessing. But take 3 deep breaths, and now consider what your intention for this Shabbat is. Okay. Having set an intention, we should also say thank you for the birthdays and the anniversaries for the month of April. So, if you have a birthday or anniversary in the month of April, you are invited to come forward. And doesn't matter the age of the person or what's going on. Ooh, that's right. Okay, you're going to stand right there while we bless you.
We all get blessed today.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, I get to bless both of my clergy partners. That's wonderful.
I think we share a birthday, the 10th. Yeah. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, this is fantastic. Hi there.
I know.
I'm so
Happy
glad.
birthday.
So our anniversary. There you go. Wonderful. So for all those who are celebrating a birthday, I hope that this past year has been an amazing year. Whether it was a year of growth or growth in wisdom, maybe for you both. Whether it was a year filled with blessings or a year filled with some challenges, I'm hoping that this coming year is one of many more to come for you that is overflowing with the very best blessings. The blessing of health, the blessing of prosperity, the blessings of family and of friends and of community, all the best blessings. And for anniversary, that's exciting. That's wonderful to be able to be with your partner. I think it's 20 years?
No, that was me. 7 for her.
Oh, 7. 20 for you. 7. Sorry. Woo. Sorry. Woo. Got them mixed up. Not that you can mix them up very much. So 7 years, that's a good number. That's a good number in Judaism. I hope that this past year has been a year of celebration and partnership, of love and blessing. And I hope that this coming year is the first of many years to come with the one that you love, the one who is your partner, the one who is so special to you. So I'm going to offer a blessing. Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God's face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha God's face be lifted up to you, and may God grant you all the blessings that I offered for you, as well. Zoom is also celebrating a birthday. Judy Fagan is, and we add Judy Fagan to all of our birthday blessings, and now we sing Shehachianu together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehachianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Happy anniversary. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Thank you.
And we are in the middle of Passover, so we will sing a song about how we see ourselves during Passover.
בכל דור ודור חייבים אנו לראות את עצמנו כאילו. בכל דור ודור חייבים אנו לראות את עצמנו כאילו. כאילו יצאנו, כאילו יצאנו, כאילו יצאנו ממצרים. כאילו יצאנו, כאילו יצאנו, כאילו יצאנו ממצרים. בכל דור ודור חייבים אנו לראות את עצמנו כאילו. כאילו יצאנו, כאילו יצאנו, כאילו יצאנו ממצרים. כאילו יצאנו, כאילו יצאנו, כאילו יצאנו ממצרים. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. 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 שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, ישמענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם ניסוחה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעורר כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Please remain standing as we continue with the very beginning of the service, the Baruch Hu. I'll let you in on a secret about how one should pray the sunset prayer. It's a juicy bit of praying like strolling on grass. Nobody's chasing you, nobody hurries you. You walk towards your Creator with gifts in pure, empty hands. The words are golden, their meaning is transparent. It's as though you're saying them for the first time. If you don't catch on that you should feel a little elevated, you're not praying the sunset prayer. The tune is sheer simplicity. You're just lending a helping hand to the sinking day. It's a heavy responsibility. You take a created day and you slip it into the archive of life, where all our lived out days are lying together. The day is departing with a quiet kiss. It lies open at your feet while you stand saying blessings. You can't create anything yourself, but you can lead the day to its end and see clearly the smile of its going down. See how whole it all is, not diminished for a second. How you age with the days that keep dawning. How you bring your lived out day as a gift to eternity.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please.
ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה, אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Please join with me. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Our special Passover melody to the tune of Adir Hu. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu makeinu lechayim. Ushmor tzitinu Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu makeinu lechayim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu makeinu lechayim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu makeinu lechayim. V'hamidenu makeinu lechayim.
Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits. Water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. I invite all those who are comfortable in doing so to please rise as we continue with the Amidah with our standing prayer.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agiti latecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hadorah, Eloyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei HaKol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואמהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה כל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לישני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Our God and God of our ancestors, be mindful of your people Israel, and recall our merit for good and grace, and in loving kindness and compassion for life and peace on this festival of Pesach.
זכרנו אדוני אלוהינו בו לטובה.
This day remember us for well-being.
Amen.
ופקדנו בו לברכה.
This day bless us with your nearness.
Amen.
והושיענו בו לחיים.
This day help us to a fuller life.
Amen.
Amen. לשם ייחוד קודשא בריחו ושכינתי, הנני מוכן ומזומן לקיים מצוות עשה של ספירת העומר, של ספירת העומר, של ספירת העומר, של ספירת העומר. שבע שבתות תמימות תהיינה, שבע שבתות תמימות תהיינה, של ספירת העומר, של ספירת העומר, של ספירת העומר, של ספירת העומר. שבע שבתות תמימות תהיינה, שבע שבתות תמימות תהיינה.
We read together, I am ready to
fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer.
Our praise to you, Adonai, sovereign of all, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to count the Omer. Today is the second day, which is 0 weeks and 2 days of the Omer.
We invite you to pray the words of your own heart and to be seated at your comfort. Shalom Imrama, Uyase Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, Ve'imru
take a moment to pray for those in need of healing, healing of the mind, healing of the body, and healing of the spirit. As a community this Shabbat, we pray for Susan Alexander, Joe Alvarado, Susie Anderson, Hal Arnold, Juventino Avalos, Virginia Becker, Tony Beraldi, Jeff Bradfield, Jean Broskow, Lisa Brunkhorst, Gildardo Carrera, Sandy Christofferson, Kevin Cooper, Connolly Cunningham, Jen Dawson, Dominic Eads, Ariana Elness, Jenny Forrell, Larry Gittleman, Rabbi Sim Glazer, Kim Hawkins, Robbie Hoskovic, Tom Herter, Judy Kyman, Ronald Kaplan, Nancy Katz, Karen Levin, Mike Liddy, Mario Lopez, Gary Marshall, Brandy Matson, Emily McWhirter, Carmen Munn, Michael Munn, Brian Nog, Pedro Comey Olimpio, Nadine Ostro, Wendy Passer, Gail Peterson, Jamie Poole, Mark Ratner, Holly Rosenberg, Samuel Rosinski, Emily Sachs, George Sachs, Gregory Sachs, Steve Seglin, Teresa Serrano, Linda J. Sherman, Leon Simard, Dee Dee Spiegel, Sarah Jane Tietzel, Laura J. West, Barb Wigg, Brent Wine, and Kate Ewell. If there are those whose name I haven't mentioned that you're praying for this Shabbat, I invite you to share their name aloud or on the chat. Thank you, Lourdes. Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Marlon. Thank you, Catherine. Thanks, Justin. Thank you, Wendy. Thanks, Jeff. We also pray for Shirley Polston, Diane Etzhoken, Bob Diskin, Jane Korn, Claire Agar, Lloyd Agar, Ted Agar, David Irvine, and Bob Pearson, Wendy Gilbert, Scotty, Doug and Debbie Brooks, Dennis Scott and his siblings, Carmen and Michael Munn, and Malin Hartwell. We pray for a refuah shlema, a complete healing, as we join together as one community.
Sheberach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov, Mishaberach imotenu, Sarariv kalea verachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us strength, show us the way. Mishaberach avotenu, Mishaberach imotenu. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well.
It's now my privilege to invite Dan Gilbert, our past president and a member of our board trustees, and also a member of the Union for Reform Judaism's Board of Trustees, to share a little bit about his experience at a past board meeting.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So thank you, Rabbi Appel, Rabbi Berezin, Cantor Alexander, for this privilege. 3 weeks ago, I attended my first board meeting as a member of the URJ's North American Board. So for those of you that don't know, the Union for Reform Judaism is the umbrella organization that has over 800 congregations, of which we're one of them, and over 1 million Jews affiliated with it. It's a real privilege to follow in the footsteps of Jane Rips and Gary Kaplan of blessed memory, both of whom were friends that offered me support, guidance, and friendship. We're also lucky tonight to have another member of the URJ's Board of Trustees in attendance, Lenore Moss from KAM Isaiah in Chicago. Welcome. So we covered a lot of ground over a single 24-hour stretch, but there were 2 major topics: Israel and the history of sexual misconduct under the URJ umbrella. Both of these topics are big, they are heavy, and they challenged many of us in that room in New York and many of us here in Omaha. I'll start with Israel. I'm not going to tell you anything you don't know, but wow, so much has changed even in the 3 weeks since we were there. The proposed judicial reforms are on hold until at least the end of Passover, and there's another flare-up of violence this week, including today. When I came out of this meeting, I came even more convinced about the importance of the Israeli Supreme Court as the only check protecting democracy and preventing another theocracy in the Middle East. Israel does not have a written constitution that guarantees freedoms or even articulates the ideals of the country that so many of us ascribe to. At our meeting, we were joined by a member of Knesset, Rabbi Gilad Kariv, the first Reform rabbi to hold a seat in the Knesset, and a member of the Labor Party. We also heard from Orly Erez Lakovsky, the director of the Israeli Religious Action Center of Reform Judaism. They gave us the very latest update about events on the ground, and more importantly, they appealed to us to take action. I don't think I was the only person in the room that was stunned to have a sitting member of parliament asking diaspora Jews to get involved in Israeli domestic politics. That is a big deal, and that's the political struggle that I think most of you are aware of. But coming out of this meeting, I've been thinking about an even deeper struggle for me of reconciling the idea that they, the extreme right-wing zealots who are in control of many parts of the Israeli government now, are still part of we. They are part of Klal Yisrael. This is the same we that all of us were talking about at our Seders. We were once slaves in the land of Egypt. I don't know what it will take for me to embrace these groups as part of we, and it's hard to see those groups embracing me and my family. But all of us need to find the path to get there if Israel as an idea is to survive. While the situation is changing quickly, there are three specific things that we were asked to do. The first is to stay on top of the issue. I think many of us are, the ones that I know are, through American news sources, through Israeli news sources. The second is to speak up about this with your family, with your friends, how you feel about it. And third is to consider joining the Association of Reformed Zionists of America, ARZA. This is an arm that I had nothing to do with before 3 weeks ago, and have since made my first contribution and gotten engaged. The URJ asked us to come back and put out an ask for our congregation for a contact person on Israel-related issues. So you don't have to raise your hand now, but I'm here to ask if there's someone in this room who would be the Temple Israel contact with the URJ on all Israel-related issues. You don't need to raise your hand, but I hope you'll see me tonight. The second topic is also upsetting, but necessary. And it's the beginning of the process of teshuvah for the harm that's been done under the URJ umbrella. In 2021, the URJ asked anyone who had experienced sexual misconduct in URJ spaces, including camps, Religious Action Center programs, events, or the URJ workplace, to share their stories with an independent law firm conducting an investigation. While this report was released in February of 2022, it's posted in full on the URJ's ethics website. This board meeting was the first in-person time where the board got to hear it and talk about this. So you can imagine the kind of tension, the sadness, the pain in that room. The chair of the URJ, Jen Kaufman, appointed an ethics accountability task force last year to oversee the implementation of the recommendations of this report. And the URJ has made ethics accountability a key reform movement priority. This task force. The first is about training leaders. And the URJ is redoubling their efforts to train volunteer leaders, to train staff in cooperation with HUCJIR and about training Jewish professionals. We're trying to foster a culture of accountability, responsibility, and safety for all. The second is very narrow bridge. The goal of this victim and survivor-centered work is to do everything we can to heal the relationship between individuals who are harmed and the institutions they have the responsibility for keeping them safe. This work began in September of 2022. We heard a detailed update about it on this meeting. The third is that congregations, including Temple Israel, the URJ is pushing for congregations to adopt a written congregational code of conduct. The goal is for 75% of congregations to have this or be in the process of doing this by the high holidays of 2023. We need a working group here from across our congregation who wants to help craft a code of conduct for this congregation. There are a lot of resources and templates available to start this work. This effort will start later in the spring. It will likely take 3 to 4 meetings, again, with the goal of having it adopted by our board before the high holidays. And I'm here also to ask for people to speak to me to join this effort. That's a congregational task force to develop a written code of conduct about what it means to be a member of this congregation. So these were both hard topics, and at the same time, attending this meeting was absolutely inspiring and uplifting. So please reach out to me if you're interested in the long version. But I'm happy to share more. But for tonight, I want to share 2 specific experiences that bring me back to our community with a refilled bucket of hope, energy, and compassion. The first is about our congregation. Temple Israel has a strong national reputation. People know us. They asked about us. Multiple board members that I don't know, and the president of the URJ, Rabbi Rick Jacobs, asked about you, cares about us. They all said nice things about our community's history and our contributions to the movement. It was a great reminder that we in this room are part of something larger, something that truly is a movement, and we're adding to the story to the Jewish life. That there is thriving Jewish life in Omaha, Nebraska, and in collaboration with Tri-Faith is a real inspiration to Jews everywhere. Multiple people told me how they get stuck in their New York bubble. And to know that we're here, it lifts them up. It makes them feel energized. We're not a minor player or otherwise forgotten. We are something special. The second takeaway is more personal. Judaism has played different roles at different points in my life. I suspect that's similar for many of you too. I've tended to see those patterns only looking backwards. What role did Judaism play in my life as a teenager, as a college student, as a new parent? But this URJ meeting switched that frame for me, and instead of looking backward for reflection, I'm looking forward for inspiration. I'm looking forward about the role that Judaism will play in my life ahead. I'm excited to think in clear terms about how Reformed Jewish values will explicitly be the starting point for my service to the Jewish community, and even a clear through line in my personal and professional work. I see starting with Jewish values as a way to launch positive feedback and upward spirals. I'm energized to think even more creatively and expansively about how my actions and ideas start and develop in a Jewish context. I think they'll make my contributions feel meaningful in a profoundly different way. The URJ's vision is a world in which Judaism enables all people to experience peace and wholeness, shalom, justice and equity, tzedek, and belonging and joy, shayachut and simcha. We all know there are immediate and significant challenges that we see in Israel, in the US, in Nebraska, in our communities, and meeting these challenges, it will not be fast or easy. But we also won't abandon them because that vision is too truly believe that vision is coming together over the longer term because of the work that we are doing. I'm honored to be a part of the URJ leadership and be a connector from our community to the movement that's working toward that vision. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you to Dan for that beautiful, inspirational sharing of your experience. I think it's easy to sometimes forget that we're part of something much bigger. As the only Reformed congregation in our area, it's easy to not remember that Reformed Judaism stands for so many of the values that we stand for here in our community. So thank you for reaching out, and I hope that many people will take Dan up on his asks of us. So thank you so much. We're going to continue with Aleinu, so I'll invite everyone who is comfortable to please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tikr l'yotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'goy haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Please be seated. We take time to remember those in our community, our loved ones, our friends, people who are no longer with us, but who we carry in our hearts each and every day. If I say the name of your loved one, I invite you to please rise if you are comfortable and able. As a community, we are observing the yard sites of Anna R. Broadkey, Jerome I. Cohn, Ike Isaac Dannon, Joseph Dansker, Rose Steinberg Eisenstadt, Susan Eisner, Samuel Fellman, Deborah Lee Gilmore, Aaron Glazer, Elaine Phyllis Goldberg, Mildred Blank Jacobs, Ellen C. Joseph, Irene Renee Kasner, Joseph L. Katz, Eddie Alex Kuklin, Harriet Cutler, Arthur Marowitz, Avi Lewis Miller, D. David Neff, William Bill Stanley Pritchard, Blaine Buddy Rothman, Blanche Cohn Rosenfeld, Susie Blumenthal Rubin, Sonia Schrager, Esther Talon, and Alex Wolpa. If you're remembering someone whose name I have not mentioned, I invite you to share their name aloud or on the chat, please. Thank you. Thank you. We also remember Antonio Barnett, Steve Brooks, Susan Scott Morales, and Mark Horton. We rise together as one community if we're able as we say the Mourner's Kaddish. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlam Rabbah barach le'olam ulamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudisha b'richu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May their memories always be for a blessing. We say together.
Amen.
Amen. Please be seated.
So I would like to thank Tom Friedman, who is our musician this evening.
Thank you,
Julie
Tom.
Sandine is fine, but as you can imagine, for somebody who also plays at churches, Good Friday is a busy day. So we're delighted that Tom could be here today. Thank you, Tom. Our tech tonight is being done by Eli Lopez. Thanks, Eli. And boy, do we have an amazing Oneg Shabbat waiting for us. As a reminder, Oneg Shabbat is not cookies. Oneg Shabbat is the delight of talking to family and friends while you eat cookies. Just a reminder, Oneg, and it's required. It's a mitzvah. Oneg enjoyment is a requirement for Shabbat, so, you know, think about that as you choose your cookie, which are all kosher for Passover. Among the bakers and the Oneg Shabbat assemblers, we have somebody who's anonymous: Eileen Arnold, Susie Norton, Gail Knapp, Alana Linthicum, Catherine Finnegan, Sandy Nog, Francisco Jimenez Guzman, Lori Sullivan. Thank you all for what looks to be a really amazing, amazing Oneg Shabbat. And no, there's no such thing as kosher for Passover pie. So just, you'll have to come back next Shabbat for pie. Thank you to everyone who attended our community Seder last night. It was a wonderful celebration. Please join us on Wednesday for our conclusion of Passover service and Yizkor. And tomorrow we are also having morning services at 10:30, both in person and online. Through April 12th, please remember that we are instructed in the book of Exodus to eat matzah, unleavened bread, and not to eat chametz, foods that are leavened, as a way of reenacting our leaving Egypt. We are asking that you refrain from bringing the following foods into the temple building: bread, rolls, crackers, flour, tortillas, cookies, cakes, pasta, cereals, soy sauce, or food that has been breaded. You'll get it on Wednesday night. It'll be fine. As we approach the end of the school year, the YLP staff, Youth Learning Program staff, is still looking for volunteers for one-time opportunities. If you have knowledge or a skill you'd like to share with our students, please reach out to Jenny Gates Beckman. We are now less than a month away from our amazing Concert of Lights. Free tickets are still available for both the Youth Education Concert, which is on May 3rd, and the regular Concert of Lights on May 4th. Maestro Francesco Lotoro will partner with the Omaha Symphony for what is sure to be a beautiful experience. Look around the room. I don't even need to say seats are limited. It's going to be in this space, and you get a sense of seats are limited, so get online and get your free tickets. We have many exciting things coming up, which include Who Knows One, a Jewish geography game show, our Lag BaOmer celebration, and Tikkun Leil Shavuot. Check our calendar for details.
Thank you. Agafen, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon inchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh bereishit, ki hu yom techila lemikrai kodesh, zecher l'tziyat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta, v'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh haShabbat. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz v'te'avon. Crunchy. We join together with our Passover song, Adir Hu, God of Might. Adir Hu, Yivnei Beito Bekarov, Bimhera, Ve'yameinu Bekarov, El B'nei Beitcha Bekarov. God of might, God of right, we would bow before you. Sing your praise in these days, celebrate your glory, as we hear year by year freedom's wondrous story. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It was a beautiful service. Thank you.
Thank you for the view of the people.
Shalom.
People have spoken. Right, we're leaving.
Anybody standing right next to my friend Dan Give him a hug from Janie.
Yeah, I don't think they're able to hear you, unfortunately.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah, just us chickens on Zoom.
Actually, when I go to services, I have it on for the captioning, but I'm not there. I'm in Michigan.
Yeah.
Shabbat shalom. Good night. Enjoy the oneg. Oh, they're not going to hear me.
They're not, yeah. Good night, everyone. Lila Tov, be well.